You know that smell, that specific, unrepeatable smell of old Japanese lacquer baking under a summer hood, mixed with something like motor oil and, honestly, I don't even know. Old dreams, maybe? You slide into the seat, and I mean slide because the 2000 GT doesn't let you sit in it. It wraps around you like the car made that decision before you did, and the world outside just compresses. The windshield is low. The dash is wood, real wood, the kind of wood that has no business being this close to an engine but doesn't care. You reach for the shifter and it's cold in your hand, precise like a surgical instrument that somehow ended up in a sports car. The straight six wakes up and it doesn't roar, it hums like it's been waiting. My name is William, and tonight we're talking about a car that the world almost forgot. A car that Toyota spent years perfecting, millions building, and then nobody bought. A car that only became immortal because a 6'2" Scottish spy couldn't fit inside it. This is the Toyota 2000 GT. And honestly, this might be the most heartbreaking, beautiful story in the entire history of the automobile. Let's go back. 1967. Toyota, basically a company the Western world still associated with cheap, reliable transportation, decides to do something absolutely insane. They decide to build a supercar, not a sports car, a supercar. They partnered with Yamaha, yes, the piano and motorcycle people, and together they engineered something that, had no right to exist under that badge. Double overhead cam straight six, independent suspension all around, a body so low and so long it looked like it was already moving when it was standing still. 0 to 60 in under 10 seconds, which in 1967 was genuinely fast. The interior was a handcrafted thing, wooden steering wheel, aluminum gauges, a cockpit that felt like Toyota's engineers had studied every European Grand Tourer and then quietly decided to beat them all. And here's the thing that gets me, deep in the chest. They built it right. They built it with the kind of obsessive Japanese craftsmanship that takes a problem and doesn't stop until the solution is perfect. The body panels fit like they were grown and not stamped. The engine didn't just run, it sang. Yamaha tuned that straight six to produce one of the most naturally musical exhaust notes in automotive history. This wasn't a car assembled on a line. This was a car that people cared about. And then they priced it. More expensive than a Jaguar E-Type, more expensive than a Porsche 911. In America, in 1967, you could buy a Toyota 2000 GT for the price of a genuine European supercar. And nobody, honestly, almost nobody, wanted to pay supercar money for a Toyota. The badge meant something different back then. It meant sensible. It meant practical. It didn't mean this. Total production run? 351 cars. That's it. 351. A rounding error, a footnote, a beautiful, heartbreaking footnote. But then someone at Eon Productions calls Toyota and says, "Hey, we're filming a Bond movie in Japan. We want to feature your new sports car." And they send the car, and they send Sean Connery. And Sean Connery, God bless him, is a big man. And the 2000 GT has a roof like a cathedral ceiling compared to your kitchen. The man literally could not fit. His head punched through the roofline. There's something almost cosmically poetic about that, The world's most famous spy and the world's most beautiful unknown car. And the car is just too small for the legend. 2 weeks. That's all they had. Toyota engineers chopped the roof off two 2000 GTs in 2 weeks to create the only open-top versions ever made. No convertible was ever planned. No soft top existed. They basically performed emergency surgery on their own masterpiece with a deadline breathing down their necks. And Connery drove it, and the camera loved it, and the world watched and thought, wait, what is that car? That's the moment. That precise, chaotic, slightly absurd moment is when the 2000 GT stopped being a sales failure and started becoming a legend. Not because Toyota fixed its image problem, not because the price dropped, because a 6'2" Scottish actor couldn't fit inside a coupe on a film set in Japan in 1967. History is weird like that.
What kills me, honestly, is thinking about the engineers who built it, the guys who spent years on that DOCHC engine, who obsessed over the wood grain on the dash, who tuned the exhaust note like it was a musical instrument. They made something extraordinary and then watched it sit unsold. They did everything right, and the market just shrugged. That kind of story never gets old because it happens everywhere, in every generation. The best thing in the room is ignored until someone accidentally famous shows up and points at it. 351 cars. That's how many times this story was manufactured, each one sitting somewhere tonight, in a museum, in a collection, under a cover in a garage in Osaka or Los Angeles, or somewhere in between, carrying this quiet, melancholy kind of dignity, the dignity of something that was right before the world was ready for it. And, I think about that when I drive. Not the 2000 GT, I mean, I'm not that lucky, but anything with a soul. Anything that requires you to be present. Because that's what these cars are asking for, basically. Not maintenance, not money, just attention. Just the willingness to show up and feel something. The next drive is waiting, and it doesn't care if you're famous. It doesn't care if the world notices. It just needs you to get in.